Hey, it's Clayton Olson, and in this video, I'm gonna talk about how to stay true to yourself and not lose yourself in relationship. Now, this is a big topic and it's a big issue in relationships. I've been working with a number of individuals who are going through devastating divorces and breakups, helping them reconcile lost loves in some cases, and helping others move on more powerfully, reconnect with who they are, and then move back into the world and be able to create another relationship where perhaps they don't make the same mistakes. And in doing this work over the last 7 years, I've come across some interesting patterns and a couple insights around what it takes to stay true to yourself in a relationship and not lose yourself, which inevitably ends in heartbreak, because the moment you start to divorce from who you are, the moment you start to divorce from your heart in a relationship, your partner follows suit shortly thereafter. And when we lose ourselves in a relationship, we lose our ability to really be happy. We lose our ability to go after what it is that we want in life and to sustain ourselves internally. So again, a really important topic here. And to start this off, I want to talk about a myth, or often, let's just say, repeated phrase that I hear come up in the world of relationships, and let's examine it. So tell me this, do you believe that in order to be in a relationship that works, that you need to compromise? Do you believe that love is a compromise? To love someone, you must be able to compromise yourself. Now, if that's the case, I would say that that is the first domino, that once it gets knocked over, it starts to lead to a path where you begin to lose yourself, and you also start to open up a territory for resentment to begin to blossom and grow, unfortunately. So if we look at the definition of the word compromise, to compromise means to make if we look at the verb of it, it means to make a shameful concession, or in military terms, it means to make vulnerable or open yourself up in a way that jeopardizes yourself. Now, with those definitions of the word compromise, is that what we want to be doing in relationship, is to compromise ourselves, to compromise our values? No. Because if you do that, then it's just going to lead to resentment, and we can see that based on the definition. But then if we're only looking at that and we think, okay, well then, how do you change, right? I meet a number of individuals who say, I'm going to be me, and I shouldn't have to change for anybody, and they can take it or leave it the way that I am. And I get that, and I think that's actually an empowering stance in one regard. However, I don't believe it's the complete picture, because if that's how we show up in relationship, is resistance to change overall, then we're not really taking advantage of the true power that relationship offers, which is, if a relationship is a place for us to grow and become our best selves, we're going to need to change. We're going to need to shift into perhaps better versions of ourselves, where we're not just looking out for us, but we're able to look out for other people as well, our partner, our family. And I think that's the beauty of relationship, is being able to allow it to transform us. But how do we do that in a way where we're not compromising ourselves? Well, what I think it comes down to is shifting from making it be about compromise to making it in terms of an adjustment. So if we're making an adjustment versus making a compromise, one allows us to connect and stay connected with our heart, our desire, and the other, compromise, actually has us disown our desire, disown our heart, and start to leave parts of ourselves behind in the relationship. So I'll give you an example of how this might work. Imagine that you are a single person who has built this life where you exercise regularly, you've got hobbies, maybe you work 50 hours a week, you're a real go-getter. And then you meet a wonderful person and you guys start a relationship. And now in that relationship, as time goes on, suddenly your partner starts to realize that they want more time from you. They want more face time, they want more presence, they want more of your attention. Now, let's say at this point, they're asking you to change. Okay, they're asking you to change your schedule. Now, if you change your schedule and you start to hang out with them more, is that a compromise or is that an adjustment? Well, it depends. It depends on your intention behind the change. Now, if your intention behind the change is because you want to shut them up, or you want them to stop nagging, or you really kind of want the relationship and you don't want to lose them, but at the same time, as you make this shift in your schedule, you're feeling like, well, now they owe me. I made this change for them, so they're going to need to make another change for me. That is a compromise, because what is happening here is you are leaving your desire behind. You're saying, well, I want this thing more. I want my schedule. I want to live my life the way that I want to live it. And what they're asking for is really not in line with that, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because I'm afraid of the consequences. I'm afraid of the rupture that it might cause, the disrepair, and ultimately now I'm going to do it and then they're going to owe me because I've made this sacrifice. That is a compromise. That is compromising yourself. That is compromising your values. So how do we escape that, right? Because in a relationship, your partner is going to bring things to your attention sometimes that perhaps it's necessary to change in order to keep the relationship alive. But how do we do that without compromising ourselves? So what I say here is that you've got to get enrolled in what it is that they're wanting so that your heart can start to be in alignment with the change. So for example, same scenario, they're asking you to adjust your schedule or to change your schedule to fit that. What if instead of realizing that, okay, now they owe me and I'm going to make this change for them, what if you begin to make this change for you? What if you start to get back in touch with the reason you got into the relationship in the first place? And you start to take a step back and look at the larger arc of where your life is going. And you're realizing that one of your values is to have a family. Another is to create a relationship that is rock solid, one where the two of you are investing in each other because you know that in that place, there can be more risk, there can be more love, there can be a deeper fulfillment around life. So you start to get in touch and you start to realize that the investment of time, the investment of energy into shifting your schedule is actually in line with the deeper vision that you have for your life. Now, if you change your schedule and you're changing it because of that, you are staying in alignment. In fact, what's happening here is you are allowing the shared values of the relationship to transform your desire, and now you bring your heart with you into that adjustment, into that change. That is the difference between an adjustment and a compromise. You've probably heard people say this before, and maybe you even said it to somebody in a relationship, is, listen, don't change for me, change for you. That is the essence of what we're talking about here, is an adjustment is changing for you, and a compromise is changing for them. So when you change for you, it means that you might actually have to ask them some questions in order to elicit the deeper vision of what it is that they're wanting and to take some time to reflect so that you can get aligned before you make that change. So this is how you keep yourself connected to yourself in the relationship and continue to move forward in a way that doesn't breed resentment, that is not a compromise, that is not a sacrifice, but that allows you to stay connected to yourself and still change and transform into the best version of yourself on this ever-changing, growing journey with a partner. So I know that this is easier said than done, but I'm hoping that this video has given you a little insight into how to continue to stay true to who you are while being in relationship to another person. I believe that if and when we begin to master that dance, where we're able to stay in relationship with ourselves while staying in relationship with another, that truly is the path of mastery to being in relationship and creating something that's healthy, long-lasting, and ultimately that is an incredibly fulfilling experience for both people. If you like this video, please like it, please subscribe to my channel, please click the link below this video as well. I've got a webinar that I'm doing called the 3 Keys to Attract and Keep a High Quality Man. And I've also got a guide called the 8 Secrets to Create a Rock Solid Relationship. Choose whatever it is that feels like it resonates, ask a question, a comment, and we'll see you in the next video.